Welcome, everybody, to this annual celebration of the life of Earth's most important truth seeker, Nikola Tesla. While most people follow the traditional path of knowledge and education, taking in and dishing out as much previously declared information as their professors' bosses wish them to know, Tesla had a different approach, and it is one we can all continue to learn from today, and must learn from. He was born at a time in the mid-1850s where the old world was quietly yet forcefully being faded out, and the new world would soon be ushered in with a vengeance. Tesla lived in the prime time of this monumental period of change around the world. As the old world faced off against the inevitable future, Nikola Tesla, possessing an ultimate visionary mind, could certainly see what was coming and knew he had to do something to counter it for the sake of humanity's future. At a very young age, he became fascinated by engineering and physics and went to various schools to expand his knowledge. He soon would surpass all of his peers and teachers and set off into the workforce in order to learn enough so that one day his impact would be felt all over the world. All throughout this time, he would travel from his humble countryside beginnings in the region of Lika in modern Croatia, and all throughout Europe, observing the spectacular ancient architecture of past civilizations and the technology of advanced buildings, including that of his university at Graz. Throughout these purpose-building adventures, his real work was being done internally, within his mind, envisioning the way the invisible forces of our world function. Soon enough, he landed upon the shores of America with an essential mission, and he was determined to succeed. At this time, it is important to discuss a few relevant concepts which multiply the importance of Nikola Tesla's impacts today, so that we can continue his quest for the ultimate truths of this world, which were once known and will be known again, thanks to Tesla and all of you who continue to promote his legacy. First, it is important to remember that Tesla was incredibly fascinated with ancient Hindu and Vedic texts, which described ethereal energy and technology that most people considered myths or fairy tales. Tesla knew these ancients were speaking of something tangible and possible, and that if it were to be rediscovered and utilized, it would be immensely helpful, powerful, and infinite. One look at the ancient structures of India, and it is easy to see, yet tough to fathom how truly advanced that civilization had once been. But Tesla knew. 2. We must take into account that most of what we know about Tesla that has survived time, we have been allowed to know. When he passed away in this very New Yorker hotel apartment, it was raided by government officials, one being Donald Trump's uncle. This means that all of his personal writings and intellectual inventions, theories, and concepts were never publicly released to the masses, and instead have been kept under strict control of the U.S. government, never entering the scientific field. There is no telling what was in there, as we know that governments have a tendency to eliminate what does not fit their narrative, or what would give humanity too much power for positive change, while cutting into their very important profits. We also know that the Vatican and Smithsonian have been the keepers of forbidden ancient knowledge, which they do not factor into the educational programming and documented history of the masses. The answers to all the mysteries may very well be in ancient books that exist today, but never see the light of day. The damage this strict control of truth does to the collective consciousness of our world is absolutely catastrophic, as it massively hinders the ideal path of progress that humanity could be on. 3. We must acknowledge that because of this lack of disclosure, we may never know what Tesla's true and final thoughts were on such incredibly important topics as ancient history, ancient technologies, the fabric of reality, consciousness, and much more. When examining the detail in the spires of ancient cathedrals strewn all over Europe and the world, most of which have currently been destroyed by war, we can see many similarities to the towers and technology that Tesla had created in his lifetime. Was he inspired by the cathode cathedrals of the past? We knew he thoroughly appreciated the ancient Hindus and Jains. What other miracles of nature in this universe did he discover that are now lost to a corrupted government? I pray we find out one day. 4th, we can also speculate that as a result of such extreme targeting of Tesla, as well as the brutal persecution of free energy scientists to this day, we can conclude that this concept and knowledge of it is extremely important and relevant. Nobody gets targeted and severely punished or silenced for failed experiments or fake meaningless science. As a result of this, our modern pop science has become more of a sinister cult of blind followers and memorizers, as opposed to a collection of unique visionary minds dealing in truths and pushing the boundaries of what is possible for the benefit of all beings. When evidence and scientific method are neglected and all focus is set on profits, truth suffers drastically. There is a big problem with reality in science. Therefore, a wise, critically thinking mind must question everything, especially if that information emanates from an untrustworthy source. If all the money for innovation and discovery is funneled into the hands of people searching for truth in all the wrong directions, nothing gets accomplished and the collective minds go nowhere. Again, humanity suffers. We may never know what Tesla truly thought about the structure of this universe, but I can guarantee he gave it a lot of thought since his technology utilized it perfectly. Fifth, it is important to know that Tesla believed firmly in the infinite power of the ether surrounding us all. This concept alone has been discussed for thousands of years, until about the time where Tesla had the capabilities of bringing this technology back to the public for free. Tesla's discoveries were undeniable to the scientific community and would have set the world off on an incredibly clean and affordable future where the potential of technology seemed to have no bounds. In response to this, the fraud celebrity of Einstein was thrust upon the masses to change the course and eviscerate the ether from science education while illegitimately stealing the crown as the genius of the world. From this point on, all television, news, and film programming would work tirelessly to depict a world that would keep humanity in the dark age of wisdom and lead it right into a materialist wasteland of egocentrism and useless time consumption. The ultimate truths fade into obscurity and are relegated to the realm of fantasy in the minds of most of the educated, indoctrinated population. Our current news can't accurately describe what happened this morning, let alone tens, hundreds, or thousands of years ago. This must always be taken into consideration in our quest for truth. Sixth, we also must never forget that money makes the world go round. To everyone except Nikola Tesla, his lack of a desire for monetary rewards separated him and his intentions from virtually everyone else, and made him even more of a target for the New World controllers who had an evil plan for humanity, which Tesla's beautiful mind was capable of dismantling. It is this pure intention to save Earth that fueled Tesla in ways that most people could never be capable of, sleeping 5 hours a day and sacrificing the miraculous joys of love and family for the collective good of the world. It was this desire that demanded he persevere through every challenge, blockade, and destroyed laboratory he would face during his astounding yet tumultuous career. He never gave up, no matter how hard things became. We must all follow in his footsteps and honor his legacy by doing whatever we can now to make his visions a reality. Taking all of these factors into consideration makes one realize that we today are in a very similar predicament to that of Nikola Tesla during his life. We are currently at a point where such concepts as unlimited ethereal free energy, ancient advanced technologies, the nature of consciousness, the origins of life, and so much more are now becoming hot topics of interest in theory for a lot of free-thinking minds. When a significant amount of what we have ever been taught comes from untrustworthy people, we all must rethink and reverse engineer everything we have been taught in order to bring us closer to a better understanding of our true divine purpose in this world for this present moment. In past generations, people would be locked up or tossed in asylums for thinking or discussing some of these concepts, not because they were crazy, but because freethinkers are and always will be dangerous. Currently, researchers all over the world are re-examining the treasures of the past and thinking radically different than what the educational system wants them to think. Every field of knowledge, from medicine and health to science and technology, has been corrupted in some way and restructured to minimize the benefits to humanity while maximizing harm and keeping everyone distracted along the wrong paths of thought. This all will change soon, because the people of the world have had enough, and the propaganda is beginning to become useless to the ever-growing number of people who care to dive deeper and critically think, like all of us. So how do we accomplish this? If tomorrow we were to take an incredible airship towards magnetic north, what would we find? Maybe we would find something completely unexpected and presently unfathomable, and we would not be the first in recent history to gaze upon it, which means that somewhere, some people right now know the answers to our questions. Now imagine a world without the top secrecy of universal wisdom or unfair travel limitations, and without the targeting of humanity's most blessed individuals. A world where the endless realm of truth is continuously built upon and added to by a humanity who is all taking part in the quest for ultimate truths, which can't be denied or disproven. Instead of living life via a collection of agreed-upon lies and material nonsensical propaganda, we could aim our collective paths towards what really matters and unite in harmony as Team Humanity, or Team Earth, ready to solve any problems and ready to know all the facts about our origins that we must acknowledge in order to achieve our full potential and attain universal harmony once again. I believe this was possible in the distant past and firmly believe we can do it again. It is the inspiration of Nikola Tesla, who dared challenge everything and everyone, that fuels our present-day quest to rediscover these ultimate truths. We must complete the task we were all put here for. It is up to us to break the stalemate of scientific thought and expand the limits for the future truth seekers to freely explore all possibilities without persecution and with full encouragement. We are continuing this sacred legacy of our hero Nikola Tesla, who dared to follow in the footsteps of the ancient masters, whose power and wisdom yearns to be rediscovered. With the powerful force of legends like this at our backs, we cannot fail. We must win, for ourselves, our future of humanity, and so Nikola and his white pigeon friend can look down upon us from the great beyond and smile in peace. Bless you all in your quest for truth. And remember, we can and will save Earth.